This is Rudkowski of WeAreChange.org here in Orlando, Florida. I'm joined by Erin Elizabeth of HelpNutNews.com, and the story that Erin has been working on is insane. There's a lot of holistic doctors that have been found dead. Some of them have been found in the woods. Some of them have been curing cancers. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of theories out there, but right now we're here with Erin to get to the bottom of it all. Erin, what has been happening? What's going on?
Well, Luke, we started on June 19th with Dr. Bradstreet, found dead in the woods with a gunshot wound to his chest, and it just went from there. We have 11 doctors dead in less than 90 days, and 3 were found in the woods or outside. All 3, they've said, are alleged suicide. We also have 4 established murders, and then several who just died suddenly, and some of the family members have come forward, even on TV, on local news, questioning those deaths, saying they don't understand, there should no reason they died. The autopsy isn't showing the heart attack. They can't find a cause of death. So yeah, it's pretty frightening.
Yeah, there's a lot of information that still hasn't been made public about everything that has been happening, but we know some of the details. Some of the family members have actually been contacting you because you actually wrote the first story about the first doctor who passed away. And then you started studying this and then really honing in on this topic, and you found a lot more doctors, especially here in Florida, that passed away. And now the family members have been getting in contact with you. Can you tell us what some of the family members of these doctors been telling you?
Yes, well, they just really want to get to the bottom of this. They are surprised that I haven't talked to all the family members, but with the one I have, that the sheriff would make these kind of assumptions, like with Dr. Bradstreet, and they've said that and one that died suddenly, another one, they want answers. They really want answers, and they're starting where I'm connecting them where they can talk to each other too, because some of them weren't connected, but as more come forward with demanding answers with what happened to their loved ones or their mate or their brother, or whatever the case may be, I think that they'll reveal more, hopefully more answers, or connect the dots to what's been happening here.
And some of these doctors have been known to help patients with stage 3, stage 4 cancer. You were just telling me a while ago, one of these doctors at his funeral had a bunch of survivors of cancers there too. Can you give us more details about that particular doctor and who he was?
Sure. His name was Dr. Nicholas Gonzalez. He was very well known, was like many of the doctors, was an author, outspoken, and at his funeral, even Suzanne Summers, who was a patient of his, said that there were patients there who were still alive today, years later, that had late stage, like pancreatic cancer, which is almost, most people don't survive that. The survival rate's very low. And and I have people writing me every day who say they were cured by these doctors, especially doctors like Nicholas Gonzalez, who was just an expert in his field. And the family has said, the staff on his website, it says that they thought it was a heart attack, but the autopsy says it wasn't. They have no cause of death. He was healthy. I'm sure they want answers too.
Can you tell me about the doctors that have been found in the woods? Was it the same woods? Was it doctors related in the same field? Can you just give us all the details about that?
Sure. Actually, it would have been 3 different doctors, starting with Dr. Bradstreet, who was found in a river, but it was in a secluded area. And then another one, Dr. Jeffrey Whiteside, who was found, they looked for the area weeks and weeks. He was with his family and just walked away, and then was found dead in the woods weeks later with a gun by his side, and they immediately called that suicide. And even the local news there said that they made a mess, quote unquote, of the investigation. They called him out. At least some of these local medias are calling them out on it. And then the last one was someone we knew personally, Dr. Mitch Gaynor, who was also from New York City, like Dr. Gonzalez, a well-known author, published author, had been on Dr. Oz, and was found dead in the woods, or were the trees outside his house, and they called it, they said it was a suicide, but there's still an ongoing investigation. But within a couple days, the local sheriff there said suicide, without really any full explanation of how he could call that so quickly.
Wow. And these are like mainstream, like big holistic doctors that are on television. Why isn't the mainstream media giving this any attention at all?
That is what's most suspicious to me. When Dr. Bradstreet died, they did have some of the papers, and I don't remember if it was particularly Forbes or Washington Post, saying some national papers were talking about his death and saying that he was a quack. You know, the news was just right away trying to discredit him. But that's a good question, really, besides one, Dr. Teresa Sievers, who was found bludgeoned to death with a hammer, who they talked about more because she was the only woman out of the doctors. They just have not, mainstream has not been talking about it. But I did get an email, well, actually, some of the family members had told me, a family member said that Time Magazine had tried to contact them, and then someone else said they tried to that Time Magazine contacted them. So eventually I wrote Time and said, hey, to the person, the email address, you know, even if you don't want to mention my name, I did, sad as it is, gently as possible, break all 11 of these stories, and I would like to, you know, just talk to you, give you the facts so you know what you're doing. If you're doing a story on all these doctors and the possible connection, then maybe you'd like to talk to me. They didn't answer. So then I sent out another email with a legal read notification attachment to it. And I can't say for sure that it was in Time Magazine, but it was like these similar IP addresses. And you could see that this person shared it with this person, this person, this person. And it appeared to be allegedly, or someone at their email account, if it wasn't that author at Time Magazine, shared it with all these other people. Everyone's reading it, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, all over. It was in New York City, where Time is, and they never wrote me back. So I guess they decided they didn't want to talk to me, even though I wrote all the articles in the first place.
Yeah, why not want to talk to the person who broke the story and is the lead researcher in this? Obviously, I could probably tell that the mainstream media will probably do a hit piece on this. That's why we need to get this information out to everybody out there. Now, of course, a lot of the dots are not always connected. There's still, you know, a lot of theories circulating out there. Can you give us your take on everything? Because I think what you told me before was just perfect with where people should take this information.
Yes, there are theories like whether it would be cannabis oil, because some of them promoted that definitely, or GC-MAF, which has been shown to help people that may have autism or cancer. But my message really to people is that I don't want them to live in fear. If there is a connection here, and if we were to just, you know, go out on a limb and say that it was connected, that's exactly what they would want, was for people to be scared. So if this were an orchestrated hit or something, then they'd want to scare people. So I don't want people to be afraid. I want them to feel, you know, especially doctors who write me every day who say they're fearful. I really admire the ones who aren't afraid to keep practicing and stay strong and be aware, but don't be frightened. Don't be afraid to, you know, to go into hiding, because I really believe that the only way that we're going to prevail with this is to stay strong and to stay united too. So.
Yeah. We definitely don't know everything that's happening, but we definitely need to bring more attention to this situation. Erin Elizabeth, thank you so much for your research. Definitely check out helpnutnews.com. If you found this video helpful, definitely share it. People need to know about this stuff. So get it out there to all your friends and family members. Thank you again so much for watching.